We're here today at Omagh Agricultural Show, and we're here with one of Ireland's leading international show jumping riders, Alexander Butler. Alexander, you have a brilliant year this year so far. You've already had 2 trips abroad. The first one was in Villamora, where you brought a couple of horses out.
Yeah, we were in Villamora at the start of the year in March. I brought out 4 horses. It was mainly just to bring out the older ones to get them up and running. 2 of them which I jumped there today, Monastery Studmore Pleasure and Vaminka. Then I brought Will Wimble with me. So we had a good show there now, got them up and running, placed in a few of the Grand Prix and a few ranking classes. And then I brought just one young horse with me, a 6-year-old that I have with Neil, Decato is his name. So we had a good trip, and when we came home then the Premier Series was just starting here with Louth County. So we've been at home then for a good while. We did Mullingar and Balmoral International, and then we headed on again then to France then after it.
You had a big win out in France with Will Wimble.
Yeah, a big win, yeah. He went well, and then we had a 5th then in a Grand Prix as well, which was a good result there. It was a big course, so we did 2 lovely shows out there, Frankenville and Fontainebleau, and I just brought out 3 horses with me. One of them was a new stallion, an 8-year-old Haileybury Cruise, which is qualified for Dublin, so I brought him out there just to get experience in the big ring.
Good. And do you think that the show jumping here is pretty much in line with the competition that you face when you go abroad, or is there anything that could be done to build horses up a little bit more towards jumping bigger classes out there?
No, I think it's pretty good. The young horse class, we have an awful lot of good young horse classes, so that's a good stepping stone. And then the Premier Series here that we run here is very good, I think, as a stepping stone to go away and do start with your 3-star shows abroad or maybe your Nations Cups. But if we keep the Premier Series at full height over here, I think it's very good, you know, and it keeps the standard high. Like there today was a good course there today, and so far Mullingar and Louth County have been all good courses, so they're, I think, very good. When we go away, it's not that much of a hassle then to jump Grand Prix out there.
Okay.
We don't get too many 5-star shows. We only have Dublin, but we have a great stepping stone to go away anyhow.
Okay. And last year you made a big move, is that right? To Lady Castle Stables. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we moved away from the home place. Well, we didn't really move that far. Only moved down the road a bit, but we moved over to Lady Castle Stables there. It's worked out well. We've 16 stables there, and it's gone very well so far.
And how are you working business-wise at the moment? Do you have mostly liveries in, or do you find it better to have owners?
Yeah, most of them are liveries, owners based, and I have a couple of horses then, half shares of my own, but most of them are liveries, same sort of thing that I was doing back at home. Works out well. I suppose the main part of the business is trying to keep them moving, selling them, you know.
Okay.
Other than that, it's hard to just keep going to shows and trying to make it pay that way. It doesn't really happen, but if you keep them moving and keep them sold and buying young ones in and producing them, it's fine then.
And do you find the business has slowed down over the last few years, or?
It has slowed down, or shall I say, maybe I find it had slowed down an awful lot, but I feel it's picking up definitely an awful lot now. There's a lot of buyers coming in from abroad, and not really mainly one area. They're coming from all over in different countries, so business that way is definitely picking up, and a lot of lads would say that they're very busy at selling horses. That's why it's hard for Ireland to keep good young horses, because they're getting sold the whole time. So business that way is good, I'd say.
And do you like to find some nice young horses in Ireland, or do you prefer to go abroad?
Anywhere, nice horses anywhere, it doesn't really matter. Home or abroad, I've done a bit of both. Can't really say one has been better than the other. I've been successful both ways, but wherever there's good young horses, we'll go anyhow.
Good, okay. There's a lot of good pony riders and young riders coming up to the ranks at the moment, and been a top pony young rider yourself. What advice would you give to anyone thinking of taking show jumping, making it their profession?
Yeah, there's pony riders, there's an awful lot of, I only seen 1 or 2 pony shows. Mullingar was one of them, and pony rider wise there's an awful lot of good riders coming on, but sure, I suppose they're all like I was at that stage, wanting to do this game. I suppose the only advice I would have is if they do get a chance. Winter time in Ireland is always a very quiet time of the year, and I always, nearly every year, go summer. Over the years I've gone to Cameron Hanley, Shane Carey, I've been to America and all different places. I usually make it my business to go summer just to get back into the proper way of going before the season starts. I won a good few bursaries when I was younger, in juniors and that, in Young Riders. Horseport Ireland put them prizes up. They were very good. Was at the Army McKee Barracks and went to California and all different bursaries, and I have to say they were the best thing really that I ever did. Yeah.
And as we know, a lot of our top riders have left the VAW. They're gone to Europe or they've gone to America. Did you ever think of making the same move?
I never really thought of making the same move, or maybe the opportunity never really arose. I was at home, and the plan was always to, I had a good few liveries at home, and I always said if things don't slow down or don't go the way I want them to go, I would think of moving away. I've done it. It's hard to know what the best plan is. I'd never say no. I wouldn't go away. Whatever route is going to bring me to the top of the sport, I will go. At the minute it's going well here at home, but I'll never say I won't go away anyhow.
Alexander, having your family so totally involved, do you find this as a benefit?
Yeah, definitely. I find it a benefit anyhow. We were all brought up in the horses, so we're sort of all pulling from the same string a bit, and we're all interested in the same sort of things. So I'd say it'd be sort of hard if only one of us was interested in the show jump and then one lad was interested in football and the other lad into snooker or whatever. I'd say, you know, we'd be all over the shop. We're all into the same thing, so definitely it's easier to make conversation and that.
Brotherly love, yeah?
Yeah, well, sometimes anyhow. Till we get into the ring anyhow.
Yeah.
There's only one winner then, and we have to all fight for it.
And of course your mother and father, Colette and Jim, are still very much involved and have been down through the years.
Yeah, still majorly involved. Father, like, he comes up and does all the shoeing still for me. And my mother then is always at the shows. She was always the driving force probably behind the whole thing. She was the one that was interested in the show jumping in the first place. My father was probably more into the racing, and she was a groom years ago, so she put us into the show jumping really, so we've never changed anything since then. And
your girlfriend, Katie Ann Grendon, is she involved with the horses now?
Yeah, she's involved. She used to do a good bit of riding, but she has her own job now really at the minute, and then she nearly does all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff that I don't like doing, so she runs nearly the thing behind the job really. She's
the backbone of the operation then, yeah?
Yeah, I just go out and ride the horses and it looks good and then talk rubbish, so, but really she does a lot of the work there behind the scenes and run the job. So yeah, she's very much involved.
Okay. And is it true to say that if you still had a choice, you'd prefer to be knee deep in muck in the hunting field, yeah?
Probably, yeah. Not many people know that, but probably would be. I loved the hunting, but it was always something I still love doing all winter once the show jumping is finished. That's why I probably always go away as much as I can to try and get back into shape. Go off to Shane Carey or Cameron to get me back into shape, because I'm only hunting all winter and things turn a bit rough after a while.
And was there ever a question of anything else you would have chosen to have done after school, or was show jumping always your passion?
Show jumping was always the passion. I was mad into the hunting. I did take a bit of a phase for a while, wanted to be a huntsman. I probably still would take it up if I got the opportunity, but other than that it was show jumping the whole time, and I was always lucky. I was always pretty much going well all the years, so and I've never really had too many downs, in fairness, in this game.
And have you one in particular memory that sticks to mind since you've started out?
In my new yard, or
no, just in general, since ponies.
Pony. I suppose the one thing that's stuck in my mind is jumping in Dublin, 5th place in the Grand Prix in Dublin.
That's be something special, yeah.
Yeah,
for the home crowd.
Yeah, definitely, that was something special, and I suppose the aim is maybe to get on the Aga Khan in Dublin. Okay. And
would you have Will Wimble in mind for that someday?
Oh sure, hopefully, but we've plenty of years left anyhow to try it. It's not going to just happen next week, but overall it's definitely going to be an aim to jump a double clear there.
Okay. And is there anything you'd like to see changed or developed in the system in Ireland?
Not really too much. I think the training and coaching for junior and young riders is very important. I don't know if they do as much of the bursary thing anymore, but I know when I was in junior young riders it was a big thing, and it definitely helped me an awful lot to where I am now. And I think they need to keep encouraging that and send young lads off, you know, at different times for only for a couple of weeks, you know. That would be the only thing that they have to keep pushing at.
With the way the system has changed a little bit over the years with the breeding and stuff, what do you look for now when you're looking for a young horse?
Well, that's sort of a tough enough question, because actually when you go away to all the big shows and the Nation Cups and that, and you look at the horses and you look at the types of them, there's the most ugliest horses I think you could ever see. You know what I mean? We're always looking for a lovely type, but I think we're looking for those sort of horses because they're more commercial horses. As in looking for a top horse, I think it just has to be something a little bit different. It just has to be really careful and has a big heart, really, you know, to make a top horse. Other than that, we're always looking for a nice type, but I think that's for selling wise if they're not going to be good enough.
So Alexander, what are your plans for the rest of the year?
We're going to stay at home now for a while, run the rest of the Premier League here. I'm going to try hard enough there in the Premier League if I can, and then the aim is to get into Dublin for the internationals. I have 2 young horses there, but to get in for the internationals and win some classes there, that's the main aim really. After that then we have young horses maybe for Lanniken, and then you're into the indoor season then, and I usually go away come the indoor season, go away to a few shows in France and Belgium, and we might have some different horses to try out then at that stage.
And have you any nice young horses at the moment that you're hoping are going to be stars of the future?
You have 2 very good 5-year-olds, they're green, and 1 very good 6-year-old that I have with Neil Fern. Decato is his name. He's definitely the best young horse I've ever sat on. So we've high hopes for him if we still have him, but he's definitely a very good horse. We bought him in Belgium last year, so we'll have to wait and see how he turns out.
You're excited about him?
Yeah, excited anyhow. I've never been as excited before, but we'll see.
You definitely won't be hunting him, no?
No, I won't tell Neil anyhow if I am.
Well, Alexander, we wish you the very best of luck, and we hope you have a very successful year in Dublin, or wherever else it takes you.
No bother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.